What is up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Talk the Ring Show. If you are new here, that means you aren't well, guys, what are you doing? If you're new here, then you better be hitting that subscribe button because it's right there. So you might as well take your little finger and just tap on it. It doesn't cost you nothing, and I mean, you get to listen to hear me ramble and a bunch of other awesome indies. So let's give a warm welcome to the way I was just watching all his promos and everything, and the way he says it. He's kind of scary, but it's cool. I'm sure he's gonna be a great guy. But let's give a warm welcome to J.A.C.
What's up?
Hello, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm living the dream.
Hell yeah.
So I always hop right into it with who or what got you into wrestling.
I was about 11 or 12 is when I started watching it, but my dad got sick during that time period, and he was watching it with my brother. And I walked in, and The Rock had just returned in 2011, and I didn't see my dad smile a lot during that time period.
Yeah.
And he was smiling ear to ear, grinning bigger than I had seen in a long time. And I just had that personal connection with it. And ever since then, yeah, I've loved it. So.
No, yeah, I love that. I mean, I also love the poster in the back that says "I love Clara." I mean,
oh, yeah.
when I had her on, she still is my favorite, but she was probably my number one.
She's my number one too, so I get it.
Obviously. Anyways, so if people don't know, who trained you or trains you?
Beer City Bruiser. He was in Ring of Honor for about 7 years before it closed down, and so he's been my trainer for at least a year and a half now. I started at AML Pro Wrestling Training Center about 3 years ago, but it's about 2.5, close to 3 now.
Yeah.
And by Josh Carey, but now I'm trained just by Beer City Bruiser, and it's really going really well.
Okay. And so, with that being said, how long would you say, from the moment you started training, how long would you say it took before you got an actual match in front of a crowd?
3 months in. I did my first battle royal, and then about 4 months in for a regular match. But I was at a crappy bar show. I was in the rain, and I was outside, and it was awful. One of the turnbuckles literally exploded up in the air halfway through the match. It was a shit show. So it was bad.
I mean, at least you get to learn from those experiences. Even if it wasn't from you and your fault, you'd be I know what to look for the next show.
Yeah, definitely, that's for sure. It was eye-opening because a week before I had my WWE tryout, because I had my WWE tryout from my MMA background, but I was just I was this is not the same thing, you know?
Absolutely. So then, obviously, we know Clara is a heel. Are you a heel too? Or it really depends?
No, I'm a heel. I mean, I don't like people, so I think it kind of is obvious.
Yeah.
But I expect we just did WrestleCade this past week, and there's so many people that go to that show, and it's just I have my hood on most of the time unless I'm in the ring because I'm just trying to get away. I don't care for people. It's just how I've always been. I'm antisocial.
No, absolutely. I mean, when she was on here, we were yeah, he's so sweet, but at the same time, me personally, anyone that's taller than me is scary because y'all are up here, and all you need to do is just put your arm on my head, and then that's it.
Yeah,
that's the thing about
it.
But no, I remember. I think it was. I always get it confused whether it was Connecticut or Rhode Island. But I seen you and her at the show, and I was oh my god, I don't know what it is, but I love the heels, and I was I'm feeling this, y'all. She's there screaming at people, and she's telling you come on, what are you doing? Get your ass moving.
Yeah, she keeps me motivated because when my ass is being a little lazy. So
yeah, I mean, guys are like that 95% of the time. So females need to just be there. Yeah.
Yeah, she's the backbone, that's for sure.
Obviously. So my dad is in the chat chanting your name because that's what he does best. Even if you're a heel, it doesn't matter.
Hey, that's fine.
Anyways, so what would you say is your favorite thing about wrestling?
I like being in front of a crowd. I like that interaction, and I like being able to feel like I'm in control because it's different. Like I just said, being in a crowd of people, I feel like I can't control stuff. But when I'm in a ring and I'm in front of a crowd of people, it's completely different. It's just a different element. I feel like I'm in my little I'm like a little gerbil and I'm in a little bubble, and I just feel like I control the crowd in the way I want to, and I dictate how I go. Because even when I fought MMA, I like being in front of people and performing in front of people because I'm a performer. I have been since I was a kid,
No, yeah.
That's my favorite part.
No, yeah. I mean, I get it because I mean, I'm pretty sure where or when I seen you and her wrestle, you were in like because I'm Pennsylvania based, so I traveled out there to see the show, and like the environment for me personally, even as a fan, was like, whoa, this is different. Like there was, I think I forgot what it was called. Maybe it was Fight TV or Fight something.
Yeah.
And when I was out there, like the little kids, like younger than me, were like yelling at you guys, flipping you off. I was like, oh my God, this is different. They're intense, but I kind of like it. But I think that's like the good thing about wrestling. Like everywhere, there's always like your different mixtures.
Yeah, I think it's different up in the north because they're used to like moves, and so like when a southern wrestler like me, that I do moves, but you know when I do moves, they're impactful and they mean something and they have a story
Yeah,
behind it instead of just doing them for the sake of doing it. And I care more about okay, I'm going to hurt you. Not only am I going to hurt you, but I'm going to hurt the fans too because they're going to scream for you and they're going to worry about you the entire match. You know,
absolutely.
because it's a sport. You know, like and in the sport, I need to be the top predator. You know.
Obviously. Yeah.
So,
I mean, and if you could crush any kid's dream, I mean, in the heel way, go for it. I
mhm.
mean, just especially little kids, like it's so easy. Like they coming at you being like, "Oh my God, you suck," and you can go like with any response. They'll be like, "Mom, he said that to me," and he was like, "Well, you're the one running your mouth. You're the one kind of asking for it."
And that's the best part, especially like with kids, because like that's who I care more about. Like I like the adults are great too, but like kids that's something you pack them and like they can be the fans of the future. Because I plan on
Yes,
doing this for a long time, so like if I can't make that connection with them when I'm in, you know, hopefully in 20 years when I've done whatever I've done afterward, they're the people that buy my merch. They're the people that buy the 8x10s. They're the people that make me get me paid. You know, because I plan on doing this for a long time. So.
no, yeah, absolutely. So, out of like kind of mentioning about like all the different arenas and different places you have wrestled, has there been one like that stood out to you and you were like, oh my God, I like this place and I will wrestle here any opportunity I get?
Definitely AML. That's home. You know, because they draw the biggest crowds in the southeast anyway.
Yeah.
And like we just did WrestleCade and we drew 10,000 people. You tell
Nice.
me what independent show is going to draw 10,000 people? There's very, very few. I think it's like us and WrestleCon. You
That
know, so like being in that environment in front of that many people, like that's home. I enjoyed when I was over there at Fight Live Pro too because that was a different environment. I want to get more up in the north anyway because I like that style and I like to bring my style into that style. I think it matches really well.
no,
So, but
absolutely.
yeah, definitely AML because I mean the guys there are amazing. Brian and Tracy do a wonderful job at promoting that show. They draw on lifelong fans and we keep doing something different every time. Me and my tag team partner Zuka King are actually really clicking right now. We're the number one contenders for the AML World Tag Title, so
Okay.
I enjoyed it a lot there.
Okay, I see you. So obviously you wrestle like individually, but you also wrestle as a tag. Do you like doing one over the other, or is it like they both have their pros and cons?
I just started doing tag matches to like really this year, and it was with I had a tag partner before David, but we did very few tag matches with a lot of single stuff. And but now like I really am liking this tag team stuff. Like I'm enjoying the psychology behind tag team wrestling because I'm a huge fan of like Bruiser Brody and Stan Hansen when they tagged in freaking Japan, you know, and so like getting to do that style in the United States because that's what me and Zuka King study is amazing. And plus, getting to tag with my wife anytime, like that's icing on the cake. Like I'm like, and they typically now I do get booked more as a tag wrestler because I think people understand that I'm a good tag team wrestler now. So, but I like single stuff too. Like anytime I get to do a singles match, that's great. I think it just depends. You know, it depends on the tag partner too. So if it's Zook or Claire, that's fine. But like anybody else, I don't really care for it. I'd rather just do those two. You know.
No, absolutely. I mean, you and your tag partner, I've seen like all the work you guys do, and it's great. But I have to say, and I know since my dad's in the chat, I'm gonna ask for his response. But there's a wrestler out here that looks crazy like you, and his name is Phil Insane, and like he has the same like facial, like the hair and like the color. I'm like, oh my God. If y'all ever tagged, you'll probably be like called brothers because I swear to God, you probably the same height too.
Oh really? You're
And
six
he's
foot
a
three.
heel. Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
he's
that's
a
awesome.
heel too, so I mean, it kind of works. Like if you ever came out here and you needed a tag partner, be
Hell
like,
yeah, I'll do it. Screw it.
I'll have to send you
Is he a
a
heel though? Is he a heel? Is he a good guy?
yeah, he's a heel.
Oh hell yeah! Then yeah, we'll do something. Why not?
He's scary. No, he's like probably almost as tall as you. He stands like higher than me. I'm like, every time I see him, I start out, I'm like, I like you, but you kind of scary. So I'm gonna go the other way. You can go that way.
Hell yeah, I'll work with him, sure.
So absolutely. So one day I'll book the magic and you'll be like, okay, you're gonna tag with him and have a match with whoever.
Yeah, see, we got this. We got this right now.
Exactly. So out of like anywhere you could pick one place, where would you wrestle? Like it could be Madison Square Garden, wherever.
Oh God. Uh, the Garden would be cool, but I really want to wrestle in the Tokyo Dome. That's a big dream of mine. I think that's like the mecca for wrestling. Japan always has been. I'm a big Japanese mark. So probably the Tokyo Dome would be really cool. But also, like, I just want to wrestle at WrestleMania once. You know, like
Obvious.
who doesn't? You know, I don't care which one it is. You know, just to walk down that aisle and to look at this sea of people like that, like that'd be pretty surreal.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, even for like WrestleMania, I don't care. Let me be a part of that show in any way. Ring announcer, wrestler, just that experience would be wholesome.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like that's the dream, ain't it? And any worker like or wrestler that says it's not the dream, they're full of crap. Yeah. Like anybody be stupid not to want to do that.
I mean, I would probably like die before I can make it down the ramp and walk down to I'll be dead. Like the amount of people that go to those, especially like our this coming WrestleManias in Philly, and like I want to go so bad, but I have this thing with Eagles fans. I'm like, that's Eagle territory. I don't know if I should head over there.
You're not gonna go just because well the Eagles are doing good this year, so
All right, all right,
I'm just saying.
all right. Cool. Okay. Anyways, so if a little fan came up to you and was like, "I want to do exactly what you're doing," what's the advice you would tell them?
Do it. I mean, follow your dream. It takes a lot of hard work. There's going to be a lot of stuff, a lot of bumps in the road, and life's going to get hard. But like, I think the tough times are what make you better. Like, embrace the tough times because not enough people do that. And don't be like, well, I got stuck when around my 20s where I was just like, uh, this sucks and this isn't good because I went through a really hard time during that age frame. But once you get through that and you keep working and you outgrow that person that you were at the one point, like you'll really appreciate it when you get to do the cool things like WrestleCade and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
just like grind and just keep grinding and embrace it because if you and the hard work, that's what matters. And it don't be one of those people that like half-ass does things. I can cuss on here, right? Is that fine?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. But don't half-ass do anything. If you got something you want to do, you got to go for it because you only live once. Like you only got one life. So what happens when that chapter closes? Guess what?
You're
You
dead.
you're dead, and you can't do nothing else about it. Like if whatever you believe in is fine, but you're still dead, and you can't do nothing else on this world. So make the most of what you got here. And if you really want to do this in this profession, find a good trainer. That's very important. The Beer City Breeder at the AML Pro Wrestling Training Center is, in my opinion, the best trainer right now in the United States of America, if not the world, because he was trained by Harley Race, and there's very, very few people that were trained by Harley left now that have the mind from Harley. So you get all of that into one person. He's teaching us, and the year and a half I've been with beer, I mean, I've grown tremendously. It's why I'm getting on some of these bigger shows. So put in the hard work, find a good trainer. There's Beer City Bruiser, Dr. Tom Pritchard, my wife got trained by. There's some great trainers around. So that's the biggest thing.
No, absolutely. So like after this, I'm gonna be like to my parents, like, hey, I know it's like far from us, but I'm gonna start training with them. I don't know how often it'll be, how probably like every other day or every day. I'll be like, I'm just traveling to there and I'll be back when I get back.
You do like the Mick Foley because I think he traveled like 4 or 5 hours to his training center when he started.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. My parents would probably kill me. They'd be like, girl, I know you love wrestling, but that's kind of far.
Yeah.
For
North Carolina's good. You're in
training.
Pennsylvania, right? Is that what you
Yeah.
said? Yeah, because I used to do shows at like AON up in Pennsylvania, and I do that like every other month back when I first started. So it's like an 8-hour drive for you, but it'll be fine.
That's wild. At that point, let's say I'm driving there for a training. At that point, I might as well just stay there. Then
Yeah,
rather
yeah.
go home. Like, you know?
Yeah, you get a place, get a job, get a place, you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm just switching states. It's fine. It's cool.
Yeah.
So you're more of like, obviously you're a heel, you're like big, you're buff, you're scary kind of. So how do you feel about like weapons match, hardcore, like all that? bloody, gruesome.
I'm down. I did a death match a month ago. I'm down. I think I like a story with it though. Like I don't want to just hop into it just to hop into it. Because the month ago I did, and that match sucks. Like don't ever watch it. It's horrible. And it's not something I was happy to be a part of. Because I did 2 matches on that show, and that was the last one. And I just wanted the double pay, and I was like, I'll do it. Hell yeah! And I hopped in, and it was just awful because it was just not good. But yeah, I've done like a lot of hardcore matches,
Yeah.
especially in like AIWF in Mount Airy. Like I've done a lot there, and I've done a couple of hardcore matches with AML. And yeah, I mean they're awesome. As long as I have a story, it makes sense.
Yeah, I
I want to
guess.
wrestle Matt Tremont. That's a goal of mine. Like, I'd love to do a death match with him. I think he's one of the last great storytellers. Like I think there's very few, and like people like disrespect deathmatch wrestling so much, but like him specifically, I watched him versus Colby Carino, and Colby Carino's last match before he was supposed to go to the Fed,
Yeah.
and it was emotional. And I'm not an emotional person. I don't like tear up or anything, but like I felt tears coming to my eyes in a death match, which I never thought I'd say. And I was like, yeah, maybe there's something about this,
No,
So,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, it has to make sense. I mean, I don't think it's for everyone either. I mean, we have a wrestler out here. I mean, he's like New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and like I'll give it to him. Every like weekend he's in a death match, and his name is Tarzan. And hey, I give it to him, but like I respectfully, I'm like, I like you. You're a chill person, but I have to take you off my social media because one morning I woke up, I was like, I'm ready for the day, and all I see is him in that death match. I was like, oh no, no, no. Like all I see is like him like cutting someone's arm. I was like, yo,
yeah,
that's like heavy.
Yeah, I
Weapon.
don't like glass. That's the one thing but like when you really look back at like the death match, especially like King of the Death Match tournament, like they didn't use glass in that tournament. So like I don't know when glass I think why did it get popular, Clarence? CZW? Probably like CZW around that time period at the beginning of the 2000s. But glass wasn't used in like the original death matches. So like Mick Foley said, I never used it, and he hasn't. So
I mean, it really depends, but like I don't know. I'm not a person for blood. I mean, we had a show here and they were doing like a weapon shit and he was bleeding. He came over by me. I'm like, no, I know you're not just purposely standing over here, you're dripping your blood on the side of your head. You gonna go over there or I'm going out the door. Like I get it. I get it, but no, thank you.
yeah, you'd hate a George South match then because it's much blood.
We'll see. Anyways, so how do you feel? Obviously, I'm sure you've had a match with your wife. How do you feel about like the whole intergender concept? Do you think it's like yes, no?
I think it depends. I like it to make sense. I'm for it because I'm not against it, And in 2023, it's hard to give an opinion about this, but I'm for it if it makes sense. Like if it's maybe a bigger girl, like a taller girl against like a smaller guy, like that makes sense. Like yes, I've wrestled my wife, but it was like a freaking like some gender reveal, and that was it.
Yeah.
So unless it's like me mercilessly murdering the girl because that's realistic, but like because I don't want to like make something not real because then like that moment when it's a disbelief thing, then I don't want to be a part of it no more.
No.
So like if it makes sense, like because me wrestling a smaller guy is the same thing. Like if it makes sense, then it's fine because my leg weighs more than a lot of wrestlers do nowadays. So
me.
So like if it makes sense, then it's fine because I throw around them. If I throw around the girl, that's fine too. But like, we just gotta make it make sense.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure if she's there, I mean, I'm sure if she were to step in that ring again with you, I don't know. I mean, I think female have this empowerment that men oversee, and I'm sure she can kick your ass easily as you can kick hers. But hey, I'm just saying.
Oh, she's a bad mofo. I'll admit that, but I don't know about all that. She's a bad woman, that's for sure.
As she should be. She's a bad bitch. Anyways, so obviously you have quite a bit of time still ahead of you. But do you think when the time comes, it's going to be more of like the age thing, an injury thing, or like a mindset thing that causes you to like quit wrestling?
I don't ever want to be a shell of myself. So a lot of wrestlers like when they get to the end of the career be a shell of themselves. Now it can be like George South where he's in his 60s and he's still doing these great matches. Like yeah, I'm all game. But if I'm like you know, like Undertaker was at the end of his career when, like, you know, he started to become a shell of himself. I don't want to do that. And
No,
there's no respect. He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. So I don't want to disrespect myself, knowing that I performed better at one point, and I'm making a mockery of who I am. You know,
no,
especially like if you think about like Ric Flair should have retired, should have never done that last match. Should have retired when he wrestled Shawn Michaels. You know, like if there's a perfect moment to retire, I'm staying retired. But like I don't see me doing it for a long time. So.
no, yeah, I get it. So, like, even if that point came and like you physically couldn't do it anymore, do you think you would still like want to be involved in like the wrestling aspect, whether it's like training or manager, commentary?
Yeah, I want to open up my own school in boxing when I'm done. Like that's my plan. It always has been. I want it to be an MMA, boxing, and pro wrestling gym, because Knoxville needs for kids, especially needs an outlet like that. And I want to put it right in downtown. Have shows every other weekend. You know, like that. That's my goal since I got into this business. So I'm gonna make that happen one day. It's gonna be when I'm done.
Amen. Absolutely. So now, if the time came and you had to choose, you got AEW and WWE. You could only pick one. Which one do you think you would pick?
Whichever one gives me the most money.
Yeah.
You know, like right now, I'm to be honest with you, I'm not going to publicly answer that because I do have an opinion, but I keep that to myself because I like to keep my options open. But
Yeah.
I think both of them do great things. I think one of them is doing significantly better right now, but I'm not going to say which one. But both of them do great things.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you had to choose, like what obviously from this past Survivor Series, what do you think was the better return, CM Punk or Randy Orton?
CM Punk was more shocking.
Yeah.
Randy Orton was more, in my opinion, more wholesome. So.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
Randy was one of my favorites of all time. He's my brother. Reason he started watching wrestling was Randy Orton. But I was a big CM Punk like Mark when I was a kid, so it was hard for me because I love them both. So
yeah. I mean, I literally I seen him come out and I was talking to my father. I was like, I swear, this man has been wrestling for all of my life. And that's like 16 years.
yeah,
I mean, I give it to him for doing it for that long, but like, geez.
he looks jacked right now too. He looks really good. He
Yeah.
looks huge. I was happy to see him back, and he said 10 more years is what he said. So
I mean, we'll see. I mean, me personally, I really loved him tagging with Riddle because I love Riddle. He's my number one, but
yeah,
we'll see how he goes now going against the bloodline.
yeah, I think it'll be good. I'm letting them cook right now though. I think with Triple H charge especially, like I think he's one of the most creative minds in wrestling, has been for a long time.
Yeah.
And just let them cook, let them keep doing their thing. I just like being surprised by it. I'm trying to enjoy that as a fan, but I'm critical about it too because we were watching. I didn't get to watch War Games till yesterday. We
Yeah.
watched the pay per view, but like I was being critical of some of the matches. I was like, that could have been better. This, but you know, because now I see it from a business perspective. But at the same time, like what a great pay per view and because you had to top last year's War Games, and last year's War Games was fantastic, one of the best Survivor Series of all time, and they did it this year. I think CM Punk coming out definitely topped it.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know if you watched freaking what was it yesterday's Monday night, Raw. And the whole thing with Jelly Roll coming out and freaking R-Truth. I love R-Truth. He always has something to say. Him and that whole Jelly Roll scene. If you haven't seen it, guys, go look it up on YouTube because that will have you dying of laughter. All I'm gonna say is R-Truth, he's kind of not thinking straight. When he hears Jelly Rolls, he thinks of Jelly Rolls. Like not the rapper, but that had me dying. I watched it again today. I was dying of laughter.
Yeah, he's a North Carolina boy too. So that was the biggest return was R-Truth between the three. You know, it
Yeah.
was cool to see him back. Like I think he's been really missed on that program. So it was
No,
cool.
yeah, absolutely. Like when my dad, I was like, oh my God, forget CM Punk, forget Randy. Like they cool and all. But R-Truth has always been like one of my favorites.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. So do you do like a specific warm up before you come out the curtain? Or are you just like, yeah, I'm ready?
I did that for a long time, but I started like pulling groins and getting injured in matches, and you know, so I've started stretching recently. I have to because if I don't, yeah, I'm screwed. But like I'm me, and then like J.A.C. comes out through the curtain.
No,
You
yeah.
know, like and like that's when it hits. But I'm me until that moment.
No, yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Yeah. So, like, out of all the places you've wrestled, it could be anywhere, any state. Has there been one specific place that like stood out to you and you were like, whoa, I like this place. I like the fans. I like the environment.
I
Other than
wrestled for a Comic Con a couple of years ago in Georgia. I can't remember what the promotion's name was, but I walked out and like I only said like one thing, and there was a sea of boos. Like, and I will never forget that. That was like I was like I just got here. You know, like why you booing me already? You know,
okay.
but yeah, that place was awesome. If I could ever go back and work there, I definitely would because those fans were into it, like hardcore, and I had a good match that night too. So definitely that. I always enjoy going up north, like I told you. I'd love to come back for a Fight Life Pro. I'd love to do some other northern promotions.
Yeah.
And then I want to go down and wrestle some in freaking California. I'm really bad.
Yeah. I mean, I've been really getting into a lot of like the California ones, and they're intense, but I mean, you buff, so you can do that. Me,
Yeah,
if
for
I go, I would get snapped like a glow stick.
sure.
Ain't no way. So, what are some upcoming shows people can find you at?
Oh God, this weekend Friday I'm at Pile Driver Pro. Saturday I'm at JCP. Billy Corgan from the NWA is going to be there making some big announcement. It's going to be cool. The next week I'll be at Ace on Thursday, and then that Sunday I'll be at what am I at? I'm at the AML Person Training Center, but it's what's the tag tournament called?
For
Seth Show.
something Pat Patterson.
It's some Pat Patterson Memorial Tag Team Tournament. So I'm doing that. Then the weekend after that, I'm in Imperial Pro Wrestling for I can't announce it right now, but a big match that I've been waiting for a while. I'm wrestling another redhead. He used to be in the WWE, so that's just a hint. And then I'll be in West Virginia the next day wrestling DD Trash with tagging with Silver Fox. So got a couple of cool stuff coming up the next couple of weeks.
Okay, okay. I mean, in the chat, really quickly, we have my dad saying you obviously versus Otis. Yo, I love Otis.
I kick him right in the head when he's getting ready to do his worm. You know, that'd be my thing.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
next, my cousin is in the chat. He said, "I'll take on anyone." LOL. Mind you, he's not a wrestler. He knows he's now. He would be getting his ass kicked, especially by you.
Yeah.
But
I did MMA before this, so
yeah.
I can fight, you know.
I'll be like, okay, I'll send him your way and be like, just kick his ass. It's fine. I gave you permission.
There you go. Yeah.
Even my father says in the chat, he says, Kevin, shut up. You'll lose every match. All right. This
I
family
like your dad. That's a smart man. That's a smart man.
crazy. Anyways, so I'm gonna give you a couple more questions. As for a tag team, if you can face anyone, who would you want to face?
FTR.
Okay.
They're the greatest tag team in my opinion of all time. Like there's no one better. Hands down them. I'd love to face them. Motor City Machine Guns. I'd love to face them. That'd be fun. And yeah, and if it's all time, like if I could res a neck, Bruiser Brody, and then have Stan Hansen, me and Zuko would love to do that. But you know, it's all good.
Absolutely. I mean, 3 matches, who knows? It might come true. So now, like, for you individually on the indie scene, is there anyone you want to face that you haven't yet got to?
Oh God, I'd love to wrestle Speedball Mike Bailey. That'd be fun. Just cause I think I'd like to do his style. I think it'd be we and him have a fun match.
Yeah.
Like I said, Matt Tremont, that's a dream of mine. Let's see, because there's a lot of independent wrestlers that actually want to work. There's this guy named Drew Hood. He cuts amazing promos from like South Carolina, and I really want to work him like bad. And I just have an itch. And then like, oh, what's that? Gosh, what's his name? He's like got the cowboy gimmick. Manders. I want to work Manders. Yeah, because he reminds me of Stan Hansen. Or Manders.
All right. So, like, now on a bigger time scene, who would, if you could have a match with anyone, they could be alive or dead. Who would it be?
Bruiser Brody's the number one, but Shawn Michaels for sure because I think he's probably the greatest of all time. Harley Race, but I want to do some alive people because I actually can work them. I want to do Will Ospreay really bad. I think he's probably the best wrestler in the world right now. Cody Rhodes would be cool. Of course, the tribal chief. I'd love to wrestle Roman. And then, CM Punk, I think that'd be entertaining.
No, absolutely. I mean, I would love to see Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes get their ass kicked because me personally, it's not a common thing, but I think they're both so overrated. I think they're.
Oh, wow. Really?
I mean, Roman was cool at first. I was like, okay, I'm feeling this. But Cody Rhodes, I've always had like that hate thing. I was like, I don't know. And another one that I get hate for all the time is Sami Zayn. I cannot stand Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. There's just something about them that makes me want to like.
That's the one I want to wrestle is Kevin Owens bad.
No, absolutely. I mean, you can. You can. Go ahead, wrestle him. I'll support you. I'm sure anyways. But anyways.
And Okada. I want to work Okada. And Jeff Cobb. I think me and Jeff Cobb would throw the house. And Jake something. That's an independent wrestler. Jake something. Yeah.
Absolutely. So in the chat, my cousin's still rambling like he's going to win against you, but he says never back down. Sure he will.
People say.
And so Khalil goes and says shots fired. Yeah, that's a family discussion between them and me blabbing. But
there you go.
So do you have merch? And if so, where can people purchase it at?
I got new merch, but you can see me at a show. Find me at a show. I don't like doing the stuff online. This is me. Find me at a show. Typically, I don't like selling merch because I don't like talking to people. Like this WrestleCade thing was a rare occasion me selling merch, which I made a good money because of it. So like it's if you see me, I have it with me. I just probably don't have it out because I just don't care to talk to people. People try to cancel me way too much. So I just want to do my thing, and wrestle.
No, absolutely. So like after I'm gonna be like, yo, Dad, we gotta go on a vacation. We gotta go get some
merch. Gotta get me and Claire's merch.
Yeah, I have to buy some merch.
Mm-hmm.
But so lastly, most importantly, if people wanted to follow you on social media, where can they follow you at?
At J.A.C. is a bad man on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Don't try to add me on Facebook. I'm not going to add you on Facebook, but everywhere else is fine.
Yeah, guys, you heard him. I mean, and also, guys, I'm going to push for it. I'm going to work my magic. If you are a promoter in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, or any of the surrounding areas, book him and Phil Insane because I'm going to send him a picture later and they look exactly alike and it's driving me crazy. So they both kind of heels. They both probably, I don't care if they're tagging or they going against each other, but I think me personally, that's going to be a great match. So I'm going to work my magic. And sooner or later, you're going to get a DM and be like, yo, you wanna have a match with this man?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
But thank you so much for coming on. I hope everyone has a great night. I will be back tomorrow with another guest. And if you're not sure who that is, make sure you're going and checking on Instagram because that's where I post everything at. Make sure you're giving him a follow and Clara too because she's a bad bitch. She's my favorite. Like you get the spotlight too, but it's okay. But everyone, I hope you have a great night. And yeah.